All right, gang, we're doing a little yoga today, and this particular session is going to be in preparation. I'm going to show you some things that we could do, kind of like the day before a big deadlift. And I'm going to just move over here. So tomorrow, I'm not doing this peaked or anything, but just for like a little context, I'm going to just kind of see where I'm at in the sumo deadlift. That's my competition stance. And reason being is as I get closer to my bodybuilding show, I'm going to be start to cutting out heavy strength work and cutting out barbell training. So number one, I want to do that as a means of kind of seeing where I'm at in terms of my strength, to see like where my strength is at this body weight. So when I do a contest at a lower body weight, I have a baseline. And it's fun. I do like to lift heavy. I mean, I'm a power lifter at heart. So, and I'm also using this as a means to help kind of promote our socially distanced deadlift contest on July 18th. So I wanted to kind of get a sense, have some fun, see where I was at. Some other context, I have not pulled heavy sumo from the floor in quite some time, probably since February. So I was able to, I think, pull 600 or 605 back in February at a much heavier body weight. I also did that unpeaked, not peaked as well. And that was about 4 to 6 weeks into my bodybuilding diet. So obviously now it's almost July. So I'm very, very deep in the diet. I've been in a calorie deficit for almost a little bit over 6 months at this point. So it's been challenging, but things have been good. So I'm going to show you guys some things to do. So the first ones, obviously just some basic hip stretching. And for me, I want to try to, again, reinforce a good spinal position, having the ribcage stacked over the pelvis when I'm squatting and deadlifting. So if I'm trying to work any type of mobility, it's really coming from the hip. And I just want to make sure my hips are kind of prepared for the positions that I'm going to be in tomorrow. Since I have not sumo deadlifted it in quite some time, really kind of biasing, kind of stretching the groin and external rotation and kind of inner thigh and kind of outer and inner hamstring kind of stretching is going to be a priority for me. And I did a ton of good mornings this week. And I've been doing a lot of close stance stuff. I've been doing a lot of close stance, conventional opposite stance deadlifts. I've been doing a lot of close stance, high bar, and upright squatting. So I haven't been doing too much wide work, just because of my bodybuilding show, I'm trying to have more of that V taper. So I've been kind of doing more close stance, lower body work. So I really want to make sure my hips are quote unquote open and I have that external rotation ability. So I'm just going to do some things here today to help open up my groin and my hip. And I'm just using the stick here for balance. So I invite you to, if you're a sumo deadlifter or a wider stance squatter, this would certainly be beneficial. Or if you just want to work on. So one thing I want to try and do is keep my belly button forward, hips like headlights, facing forward. So I don't want to turn here, I want to keep like this. So I'm kind of getting a stretch here as well as here. So now I'm going to work the other side. Always good to think about keeping your big toe, little toe, and heel on the ground when you do these movements. I'm always trying to kind of breathe into the belly a little bit. I can also open up here. So I'm actually going to switch. I'm going to do that a little bit on both sides. So I'm going to go back here. So we're going to start, because again, I'm trying to open up my groin and work on external rotation a bit. So I'm trying to prepare my hips and my groin for that sumo deadlift that I'm going to work towards tomorrow. And I'm never really kind of going more than a 3 out of 10 as far as discomfort level. I think that's really important. So I'm just kind of trying to move. The really important drill I like is the shin box. So this is going to work more rotation, both internal and external. So right now I'm just doing a static shin box. I'm not going through the get up part. I'm trying to get my pelvis as level as I can. So I'm just doing this a little bit more dynamically. And as I get more comfortable, I can kind of ground without my hands. Come here. So on this one, I usually would use some blocks. I just forgot to grab them so I can get a little bit taller. Okay. Now I'm going to go into the other side. So again, for those just joining us, I'm just prepping my hips for the deadlift. Then I'm going to do a sumo deadlift tomorrow. Now this next one's like frog. So this is a really good thing if you want to get into sumo deadlifting. You can come for your forearms. You can start on your hands. And I'm just kind of getting wide with my feet, and I can kind of walk my hands down. I'm trying to keep a neutral pelvis here. And I'll show this from a couple different angles. Breathe into my belly. I can rock a little bit here. Show you from a different angle. So I'm just trying to get I can start close and then walk my feet out. And I'm getting my feet out like this. So I'm walking my feet out, just walking my hands. And I could do like a little bit of P&F. I could drive my knees inward and then relax into it. Again, I'm not trying to arch my back. I'm trying to keep my pelvis neutral. So I can squeeze my knees in and then relax into it a little bit more. I could also do a similar thing with like a wide kind of child's pose here as well. So I'll show that from a different angle. So I can come here, bring my feet out like this, and then I could drive back. So that's going to be good for the groin. I could play with the angle of my feet and knees. I can also drop to my elbows and just hang out here a bit. So just I want to kind of show a couple of quick things that you could do to help prep your hips the day before sumo deadlift. I wouldn't necessarily want to do a lot of this stuff right before because you do want some stiffness. I would do more activation stuff for your outer hip. I could certainly show that too if you guys are interested. And then the last thing we're going to do, I'm going to finish off with some kind of 90-90 breathing, just to kind of help my lower back feel good for tomorrow. So I like to put my feet up on a box for this one. Like so. And then I'll do this, and then I'm going to do a little bit of hamstring stretching against the wall. So I'm going to tuck my pelvis under, drive my lower back into the floor. Breathe in, reaching around. Exhale forcefully. I'm going to do it one more time. And then I'm just going to lengthen and stretch my hamstrings a bit, like so. The wall would be best for this, but I'm just going to show with the box just for the sake of the video. And I'm just going to hang out here. So if I put my feet against like the wall, it would be even more of a deeper stretch, but I'm just trying to, again, just have a nice relaxing stretch, get some blood back into the low back. I'm gonna take a couple of breaths here. I could visualize what the pull is gonna feel like, what it's gonna look like for tomorrow. So that's just a really quick sequence that you could do. If you want to do that like kind of the day before like a heavy sumo deadlift, or just the day before you deadlift, just to kind of relax and unwind. Could be good right before you go to bed even. Just nice and relaxing, nothing too strenuous. We kind of went through a lot of hip mobility work, some stretching of the groin, working on external rotation, a lot of good stuff there. If you have any questions on mobility, if you want some more content, you can shoot me a DM. And I'm gonna hopefully feel good and well rested for the deadlifts tomorrow. Since I'm not peaked, since I'm in a calorie deficit, I'm gonna do a upper body workout beforehand. There's gonna be a lot of cards against me, but I just wanna make sure my body is feeling good, my hips are ready for the heavy pull. So thank you guys for watching. This Q&A, this live stretching session helped you. Please share it with a friend. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, stay strong. We'll see you soon.